go through and show some of the changes made in here. So if I log myself on to the app, we can see now that we have our normal screening form, which had the questions that you need to fill out, the date and time, the location, description, full name, signature, and you can submit. But we also have these added tabs here, which are mostly part of the admin functionality. So if we go to employees, and then we can look at myself in here. So I am marked off as an admin, which is why I can see these tabs, and I am also marked off as a manager. So what the manager role lets me do is get the email from a user that submits their screening test. So I can see that I am one of the managers for this test user. We're going to use my Gmail since my email is already in there. This checkbox is how you would get your list of managers. So this is what's checked off to on my user role that will let me pop up into this list. But this test user is not a manager, so we're just going to submit this. All right, test user is in the system. We're going to log it. And we are going to get a new password for test user. And if we look over here, we got a password reset request, which I'm just going to throw over there. I'm going to make it somewhat of an easy password. Okay, now I can log in. Okay, and as you can see, because the test user was not an admin, they don't have the tabs at the top. There is a history where this test user can view anything they've submitted, but they have not submitted anything to date. So we're just going to say for today's date, the time. We're going to say they're going to work from home because they are actually feeling under the weather. So, and then we'll say test. And we're going to click off they have a fever, chills, and maybe a headache. And submit. Okay, so it's informing them they cannot come in today, which is a good thing. And then in my email, because I am the manager, I got a email notification. If I can bring it over to the screen. So test user, which was the name, failed. So there's a details that I can click into there, but I'm actually going to log out and log myself back in. So if I log in as myself now, we're back into being able to see the full admin section. So under history, I can see the full version history of everyone that's put in a form. I can check who's in isolation, and I see there's a bunch of tests by myself, but we have this test user that was entered. If we want to check out test user's screening form that they filled out, you can just click on it there. You can also get another view of what's happened today. So you have 4 employees that have entered the office. You had 1 employee that was off-site, and now you have 2 employees in isolation. All these are filters, so you can quickly look at the off-site versus and what they filled in. Versus if I go to an isolation, it takes me to this isolation form, which is showing me not only their screening form that was filled out, so there's test user again, but also it allows me to put in, update their test results. So saying if they actually got tested and if they tested negative or not. So if I look at the full list of entries here, you can see that you have 2 recovered statuses and 2 statuses that are in isolation. So it will automatically switch over to recover once 10 days from the date that it started has passed. So this is switched to recovered because it's past 10 days past October 3rd. Or if there's a negative test result that's put in and the date. So to do that, we can do that with test user here. And they received a negative on today's date. And you can see that test user now has that data and they are cleared to go to work. Yeah, that basically sums up everything that's available. This data just will keep growing. If we look in history again, as the data gets big enough, it creates new pages that you can click through. And that's essentially the app. Thank you.